Aura. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear that word? For me, if there's one thing in football that can be used to describe it, then it would be that Real Madrid training clip before the 2017 Champions League final. You see the players and realise no one's even saying anything, but it's almost like you can just feel the aura instantly. So many world-class players in their prime. The tempo in the drills, the touches, the confidence. Every single player just looks like they were built for the final. Of course, they won the game 4-1, and honestly, watching that clip, you just knew they would. That is aura. You can't fake it or force it, but you just know when it's there. We're starting to see the word everywhere now. Any and all types of videos, edits, and in the comment sections. Van Dijk was probably the first example of the word being used and getting it popular. It started with fans saying that his presence in defence was making attackers scared to even go 1v1. We even had players like William Saliba say this about him. It then became a meme and was actually used to mock Van Dijk by rival fans.
Look at Van Dijk!
But either way, this idea of aura in football caught on because it was real. Another solid mention is the classic Nike adverts. Joga Bonito, the airport scene, the cage matches, Ronaldinho, Rooney, Henry, Ronaldo. These were just some of the types of players you'd turn the TV on for. It felt like back in those days you wouldn't look at a player's stats and judge them. You would physically watch and just know instantly they were the players that the fans came to see. They were the main characters. Back then, there was no social media, no clips flying around seconds after they happened. Players built reputations over time, through moments, stories, and how they made people feel watching them week in and week out. Today though, the stage is global from day one. A single moment can explode online. One performance, good or bad, turns into millions of views. The pressure players face now is different. You might even argue it's more intense than ever before. Yet somehow, every generation produces players who seem like they are built for the big moments. And in this era, it feels like there's two teenagers that are leading this new wave, starting with Désiré Doué. They thought PSG needed a superstar, Neymar, Messi or Mbappe, in order to win the Champions League, but that wasn't the case. Désiré Doué stepped in and rewrote the entire script. At 19 years old, in the biggest match of his life, he made the Champions League final look like a pre-season kickabout. 2 goals, 1 assist, and not a single moment where he looked overwhelmed. If anything, it was like he'd been waiting for it. Doué played the final like he was announcing himself to the world. First assist was unselfish, composed and calculated. The first goal was the right place, right time, and just no hesitation. And the second showed his hunger and confidence. A teenager sprinting half the length of the pitch in the 60th minute like the game had just started. Inter Milan were humiliated. And yet, if you've watched him this season, none of this came as a surprise. From the moment he put on a PSG shirt, there was something different. A looseness to his dribbling, a kind of balance that just makes him so pleasing to watch. The way he glides past challenges while always looking in control. Some players need space, but not Doué. He invites pressure just to escape it. Aura isn't just tricks and highlights either. It's in the details. Body language, the confidence before the shot, and Doué has it all. You can see it in the way defenders hesitate to close him down, like they already know they're going into an edit if they fail to tackle him. Even just the way he carries himself. After his second in the Champions League final, Doué jogged to the corner, took his shirt off, and stood with his arms wide open, soaking in the moment like he knew it was his. He doesn't overdo it, and that's what makes him stand out. There's a self-awareness to it all, a natural understanding of the moment, of the camera, and what it means to be seen. The Neymar comparisons didn't come out of nowhere either. Doué made them himself. He said before that Neymar is his idol. And when you see the stepovers, the back heels, the low centre of gravity, you feel the influence instantly. But what makes Doué special isn't how much he reminds you of someone else, it's how he quickly convinces you he's something new. There's intent behind everything he does. Every flick has a purpose. And he's doing all of this while growing into his frame, his mindset, his role as the face of a new PSG. This isn't the PSG of old, it's a complete reset, built around these young players who want the ball when the pressure hits. And Doué is the clearest example of it. Even his choice to join PSG meant something. He chose the project knowing he could break through, seeing the opportunity to become the star, not play behind one. And now, after the final, no one's doubting that choice. The kid who used to idolise Neymar is now carrying the shirt Neymar left behind, and doing it his own way. What makes Doué really dangerous is that he feels inevitable, like a player you just can't ignore. Even on an off day, you have to watch him. There's always a feeling that something's going to happen when he receives the ball. And when a teenager walks into a Champions League final and owns it like a legend of the game, that's enough proof to know that this kid is special. And just when you think that kind of dominance can't be matched, you see Lamine Yamal, and suddenly you're questioning which teenager in Europe really has the most aura of them all. There's something different about watching Lamine Yamal play football. He's 17, barely finished school, and already carrying the weight of Barcelona's legacy on his back. You don't watch him and think he could be great, you watch him and forget he is a kid. Because the way he moves, the way he sees the game, it feels like he's been playing at this level for at least a decade. Barcelona fans knew he was special. They'd seen glimpses, but this season he turned those little glimpses into world-class performances. 18 goals, 25 assists. He pulls things off that shouldn't be possible and makes them look so routine. There's just no tension in his game, no reaching or forcing, just a rhythm that never breaks. He's not the loudest player on the pitch, he doesn't throw his hands in the air, but the minute the ball reaches his feet, you feel something shift. He has a calmness, like he's ahead of the game by 2 seconds. Like Doué, part of Yamal's aura comes from how he carries himself. When he chooses to celebrate, it usually means something. The 3 or 4 hand sign he throws up after goals is a reference to the neighbourhood he's from. Not to forget in the El Clasico, where he had the confidence, or some might say arrogance, to do the calma celebration, like it was a message to the Madrid fans. The other thing both Yamal and Doué share are the comparisons to Neymar, and social media has caught on to it. The recent trend where fans invert his highlights really does show the resemblance. The balance, the body shape, the drop of the shoulder, but they reflect different sides of Neymar. Doué is more about the Neymar aesthetics, the stepovers, the flair, even down to his look. Yamal on the other hand has that efficiency, the feints, the pauses, the moments where one subtle movement shifts the whole defence. You don't need stats to tell you he's different, you just need to watch how defenders react. They start backing off before he even moves. They know what's coming and still can't stop it. He doesn't need power or even an insane amount of pace to beat you. He'll pause for half a second and turn you into a spectator. And it's not just the club games where he shines. For Spain, he's already making history. Youngest debut, youngest goalscorer, and one of the standout stars at Euro 2024. That stage, that pressure, he just wasn't fazed. The records keep piling up too. Youngest player and scorer in a European Championship, youngest goalscorer in El Clasico history, youngest to score in a Champions League semi-final, breaking Mbappe's record, and youngest to reach 100 appearances for Barcelona. The numbers aren't just impressive, they're something we've never seen before. You'd expect someone this young, with this much spotlight, to have a slip, a moment of immaturity, but it's not happening. Yamal's confidence isn't just in his play, it's in his words. Ahead of the recent UEFA Nations League semi-final against France, with the spotlight on him and Ballon d'Or conversations already starting, Yamal didn't back away. He said, if people want to risk it all in one game, well, let's play that game then. And he delivered. Scored twice, ran the game, Spain beat France 5-4, and suddenly that quote didn't feel like arrogance, it felt like prophecy. In the Nations League final against Portugal, however, the spotlight was back on Yamal, this time with Cristiano Ronaldo standing on the other side. The game had all the drama, penalties, pressure, and a legacy on the line. And for once, Yamal was quiet. No goal, no moment, just experience. Meanwhile, Ronaldo, at 40 years old, delivered the equaliser, took the game to penalties, and lifted the trophy once again. It was one of those nights where Ronaldo reminded everyone why his name always comes up in conversations about aura. Big stage, big moment, same outcome. Fans online ran with it, posting memes and criticising Yamal as reactionary fans do, circling the image of Ronaldo celebrating while Yamal looked on. But even in all of that, there was no shame. Ronaldo himself called Yamal a phenomenon, telling the world he's 17, just leave him alone. And really, it was just part of the journey. Every great player at some point has walked off a pitch in defeat. Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, finals don't just define greatness through victory. They reveal it in how you respond to loss. That night didn't weaken Yamal's aura, if anything, it just refined it. Aura has never been about perfection, it's about character, and that's proven by what you take from your defeats. Yamal recently extended his contract with Barca through 2031. That's a club knowing this is the player they have to build around, not just for now, but also for the next era. And the wildest thing is, we still don't know how good he's going to be. Aura isn't some new concept, but the way it's being recognised and the way it's showing up now is. Before, it was something that felt like it was earned. You built it across seasons. You felt it after the trophies, after the pressure, but now some players show up with it on day one. Today's football is undoubtedly faster, louder, and more analysed than ever before. But even in all the noise, we can still notice when a player has a certain aura. It's in how a player walks, the way they look, the focus before a penalty, the refusal to be fazed in big moments. even down to the signature celebrations. Désiré, Doué and Lamine Yamal are the newest examples of these players who have this presence. But there's undoubtedly more to come. Young players who grew up watching the legends, not waiting to become them, but ready to add their own version. Not every great player has an aura, but every player with aura becomes unforgettable.